them justly. Surely Allah loves those who does justice, doers of justice.
Right, which is a very beautiful verse, if I may say so.
When Allah talks about don't take protecting friends, He tells us, but with everyone else, those who are not confronting you, driving you away from your home, and so on, rules of engagement, interaction, fairness, and dealing justly.
Okay, so have a look at 929. Go to 929. If you could on your phone, go to 929.
In the context of what? In war?
Well, you say it's war,
The
but
whole chapter is in the context of war.
no, but it speaks to the meaning of the scripture.
Yeah.
This is context. Before I go into this,
Okay.
this is a chapter in a context of war. So of course you'll find ayat talking about warfare, how to engage in warfare. But what I want you to finish, because we have to go, 929 we have talked so many times.
Okay, we'll stick to this.
We want to know your confusions about how you think some of the verses somehow.
So in light of the verses that we've looked at already, right, we will go to 582. Go to 582. Right.
It's just the battery. It says the battery. That's all.
Certainly you'll find the most violent of people in enmity those who believe to be the Jews, those who are polytheists. And you will certainly find the nearest in friendship to those who believe to be those who This is because there are priests and monks among them, because they do not behave proudly.
So that is a compliment. I see that as
It's showing the reality
as a compliment.
It's showing the reality of the people. There are groups of people who will show enmity and hatred towards the Muslims.
That is because among them are priests and monks, and because they are not arrogant. So that is almost like a partial compliment.
So it describes a group of Christians. They say we are Christians, and they behave in a way because among them there are priests, and among them there are monks, and they are not so proud. So of course you'll find them closer in love towards you. These people.
So in a way, that is saying that there's people amongst the Christians and Jews who what can be trusted.
It's nothing about trust. This simply talks about in terms of how people behave towards. There are a group of people who will always have enmity, strong enmity towards, and identifies those who call themselves Jews. Isn't it obvious in the last how many centuries? This is how they are showing the enmity. Common trait. Yeah? I'm not making a generalization, this is the reality. But from among the Christians, those who are monks and priests and they don't boast about who they are, they're humble people, they are close to us in love and
affection.
Right.
Look, recently, Pope talked about contextualizing today's time. Didn't recently Pope talk about how Islam is right?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
No, we don't follow the Pope, and we reject.
I'm saying the Quran talked about among the Christians who are priests and monks. He's one of them. He's a humble person.
That would include Catholics.
Well, are you saying the Quran talks about Christians? Protestantism only arose in the Middle Ages, my friend. Before that, who were they?
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
So we're talking about those who call themselves Christians. Okay. So in this ayah, it's not showing favoritism, it's not showing anything like you describe, it's just describing the reality of attitudes and behavior between Muslims, Jews and Christians. Or Jews towards Muslims and Christians towards Muslims.
Okay, so this is quite a favourable verse towards the Jews and the Christians. Would you agree? It's quite
Nothing to do with favourable verses.
It's true.
See, the whole
Catholic.
Well, are you saying the Quran talks about Christians? Protestantism only arose in the Middle Ages, my friend. Before that, who were they?
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
So we're talking about those who call themselves Christians. So in this ayah, it's not showing favoritism, it's not showing anything like you describe, it's just describing the reality of attitudes and behavior between Muslims, Jews and Christians. Or Jews towards Muslims and Christians towards Muslims.
Okay, so this is quite a favourable verse towards the Jews and the Christians. Would you agree? It's quite
Nothing to do with favourable verses.
It's true.
You see, you're concocting an argument. Oh, there are favourable verses and there are non-favourable verses. I am saying no. The Quran lays down the reality. The reality is this. This is how the Jewish and the Christian attitudes and behavior to the Muslims are. Sometimes in warfare, sometimes in not in warfare. And this is what your relationship should be. But Quran also talks about, in general, how you should behave with the people who are not in war with you, as I explained to you earlier on. So nothing about favoring someone sometimes and later on not favoring. This is a... How long are you going to be here? Not very long, 10 minutes? So, 10 minutes. This is an attitude of study that's happening in Orientalism and some Jewish Christian circle perhaps. This just to show somehow the Prophet was initially, a very humble, peace-loving person, and later on when he got power and in the state of Medina, when he became a statesman, he became very violent. No such thing. Because the message of the Quran is throughout consistent.
But when Muhammad left Mecca,
So now I want you to finish this verse. And then you talk about.
I'll just say that point and moves to.
Sorry, don't worry. It's okay.
We see him gathering an army to fight against his enemies. Eventually, which he returns to Mecca to basically conquer it.
What did he do with these people, the Meccans, when he came to conquer? The same Meccans who tortured him, his family,
Wasn't he born
his
there?
companions. Of course, he was born there. They were persecuted. Their wealth confiscated.
That's right.
They were tortured, oppressed, murdered. And then they were driven away from their homes. So when he returned, what did he show as a response to those Meccans who did this to him?
Did he give them a choice of convert to Islam or just continue as you are?
So you haven't read what
No.
happened?
I'm asking you
I'm telling you.
A tree was not allowed to.
because we
You
do.
do not know about the conquest of Mecca and what the Prophet did.
I have some limited knowledge about it. So
When he came, it was like a general forgiveness to everyone.
Amnesty.
Yeah.
Amnesty.
A tree was not allowed to be cut.
This is how his response was. The same people.
because don't forget, there still would have been lots of pagans in Mecca at that time.
Yes. And he said what?
So
Now,
why did they decide that they want to become Muslims?
No, later on they did.
they, even those
Later
days,
on
they
they-
entered into Islam in folds, in ranks. Why? Because Prophet gave them this general amnesty. Forgiveness to all. So he didn't persecute them, except a few individuals, but in general, everyone was forgiven. The people who ate the liver of his uncle, the people who, oppressed and killed and tortured and maimed and did so much horrible things throughout that time. And when he returned, he showed them mercy. He showed them compassion. He says, okay, you are forgiven. They were moved by his forgiveness. And they entered into Islam willingly.
So
Many of them.
how many people in Mecca became Muslims when Muhammad returned?
Many. I don't know the number exactly myself.
Are we talking thousands?
I think it's a large number of people became Muslims. Large number.
Okay.
Next time when I go, I can dig up the exact numbers
Okay.
from the books of Sirah. By prophetic biography, I can tell you. If I have time, I could have picked this up now.
Come
I
over
don't
here.
have time, as you know. So as you realize, this is how
Saeed.
the response was. So now, if we go back in 582, as we have read here, it describes the people's attitude towards Muslims.
Saeed.
Now, why do you find this problematic?
Okay, so there's one more verse that I wanted to look at, and that is 572.
Just a few verses earlier, a few ayat earlier.
Yeah, very close.
I think I'm gonna record this.
Okay, so we look now.
I don't know if I should record this or come with you lot. But I don't think he has enough
Okay,
space.
they have certainly disbelieved who say Allah